I've been getting up at 5:30 for the last couple of days to try and get some more words in for NaNoWriMo. My whole idea was I can get some words in before I start the day job and win Nano that way. Now, I still stand by the idea, but I will say it wasn't easy to do, and I don't know if it was as successful as I hoped it would be.
You can't say you didn't see this coming. Finally got some inspiration right again.
I vlogged this experience and gave my thoughts along the way as I was actually doing this every morning. So I will let past me explain all of that and actually show you what I did, kind of get into that whole vlog, and then at the end we'll come back and I'll reflect a little bit more. Alright, good morning. It is not exactly 5 a.m. for the so-called 5 a.m. Writers Club I wanted to do, but I figured 6 a.m. is just as good a time as 5 a.m. Obviously, it doesn't give me as much time to do any work before my day job, but at the same time, I think this is what I could manage. I usually get up at 7 for my day job, and I am now getting up at 5:30, so that is already something. It's currently almost 6, so I feel like I should start writing at 6. And then maybe if I want to take a break in my sprinting time, I'll make a coffee and then we'll see how much work I get done. So essentially my idea is to do 6 a.m. for like maybe a week and then see how that goes for Nano, because I have not been getting the words in. I think I am currently standing at not even 2,000 words and it's already the 9th of November, and you can see the time. I'll show you on my phone maybe how early it is so that you know it's actual proof. But yeah, it's basically almost 6 o'clock, so I have my notebook with me that I use for this project and it's upside down, so that's a great start. And then my laptop's in front of me, so I'm gonna go start that up. I'm gonna listen to some chill, relaxed music as I do my sprinting, and then we'll see how I get on with that. But that is basically my idea, so wish me luck. Alright, 30 minutes done. It is a little after 6:30. So I'm thinking of making some coffee now. I basically have 639 words already today for the 30 minutes that I've been trying to write a little bit here and there. So I think that's not a bad start for this early in the morning. I know that sometimes I could get 1,000 words in 30 minutes, but I think for now, because it's early and I'm trying to get into the story that I haven't really worked on a lot, I'm okay with that. I'm like not too worried. I looked at the website as well to see how many words I actually need per day in order for me to still finish, and it's roughly 2,200 words. That's what I wrote down, so 2,200 words each day, which honestly I feel like I should aim for higher because I know that I'm not gonna write every day, but I think maybe if I do 2,500 each day I'll have like a tiny bit of buffer. Or do I want to aim for 3,000? You know what, I'm just gonna write 3,000 and then we'll see what happens. I also ended up writing the overall target word count for the full manuscript in my Scrivener document as well, so that is 60,370, basically because I already did a 10k day, so I have to account for that so that I'm not overwriting or underwriting. So it's not the 50k because I already had some words in here. So I want to make sure that I reach whatever word count I need in order to reach a 50k. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment. I'm currently still kind of going through chapter 2 that I had written before, but not really finished up. So that's where we're at. I'm hoping that I can add a lot more words in the chapters to come so that I can actually meet this word count. And I feel like now this chapter 2 actually makes more sense. I feel like chapter 2 was something that didn't exist when I did 10k. This is all written during the nano period for me, so it's feeling a little bit better now. I feel like the characters become a little bit more realistic and we have some conversation going on, so I'm not 100% confident that this chapter is a great chapter yet, but it's getting there, so I'm happy with that. And now I should stop talking to the camera and actually get to work. I'm gonna quickly make some coffee and then sit down and do some more work. Alright, another half hour done. I think I'm currently sitting at 1,592 words for this morning, which I think is not bad. That means for like almost 900 words for this second 30 minutes. So it definitely feels like I am getting more into the story again and into the flow of this. So I'm pretty happy with that. I actually did skip to like a later chapter because I had a thought of something that I probably wanted to happen there, like a conversation. So I ended up doing that a little bit, which I think helped the word count. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go back to chapter 2 I was doing and then see if I want to add more to that or just go to the next chapter. Good morning once again on this new day. It is 6 a.m. Let me grab my phone so I can show you. 6 a.m. on November 10th. It's a bit of a struggle. I gotta say, this time around it was not as easy as it was yesterday, but at the same time, I'm proud of myself that I still got up. Yesterday I did about almost 2,000 words, so a little bit less than I was hoping to do, but at the same time, like, I feel really good about the progress I made yesterday. Today we're gonna try and do even more, or at least the same. So we're gonna see how things go and then, you know, figure it out. I definitely have to say that getting up today was harder, and I think part of the reason for that is that yesterday I had my boyfriend getting up at that time because he was over and he left around 6. This time it's me all by myself trying to get up, and that was harder, but at the same time I'm here. So anyway, I'm gonna get to writing and see how much I can get done. I already made coffee, so I don't necessarily need a full break to make coffee, but I'll probably have a break to, you know, talk to you guys. There you go. Let's get to writing. Alright, the first 30 minutes are up. I'm currently sitting at like 488 words, so a little less than 500, which, you know, is not great, it's not bad either. So I think I'm okay with that. Basically, what I wanted to do in this section is also kind of world build a little bit of the environment and the place I'm setting this in. So I had to look up some kind of geography of that city to kind of see if I could find something that would kind of work for my setting. So I'm trying to do my best at the moment with like referencing places and walking through this park that I have no clue about. I've never been there, so I'm really just gonna go off of Google. So I'm hopeful that this kind of gives a little bit of a sense of like what's happening, but we'll see what happens. I'm kind of feeling good about the writing part. Alright, I think it's been more like 40 minutes instead of 30 minutes since I last spoke to you guys. I'm currently sitting at 1,558 words, which I think is pretty good. I'm in like kind of a scene slash conversation between my two main characters that is gonna be like a good moment. I almost feel like it's like a little bit of an emotional moment, but it's also kind of a reveal. So I want this to kind of, I don't know, lead there in the right ways. So I am kind of in the flow of it, so I will continue. But it's also like I kind of want this to go in the right way, and I don't want to mess up kind of how I make this happen or how I tell the readers or have that kind of portrayed on the page. So, you know, I want to use the right words. I want to use kind of the right way to get to the point without making it too long, but also, you know, without taking away the emotion of it. I'm trying to do this kind of as a whole. I definitely need to get way more words in, but I do feel kind of good with where I'm going. I do feel like I have about at least 30 more minutes to get kind of into this. So if I can pop out another, let's say like, you know, 700, 800 words, I'll be very happy with where I'm at with this story. I'm hopeful that this will still kind of work out and that I can still do this. I do feel the need to kind of calculate how many words I need per day, but at the same time, I'm like, I really shouldn't worry too much about it, because I know there's going to be days where I'm not going to do any writing, so I kind of want to calculate how many words I actually need per day. But we'll see. Maybe I'll do that later during like work meetings or something. But for now, I want to continue writing this scene so I can wrap that up and actually get more words in and kind of finish maybe this chapter as a whole. Although I do feel like this chapter as a whole needs a little bit more work. But I am getting to a point where I'm kind of happy about everything. So this is an important kind of moment in the story. So I feel like if I can get this out, that will be good. And I hadn't originally written this in, so this is a completely new scene that I'm adding. I feel good about that because that means more words and also more story. So yes, it's good. It's something that needed to be there. I just forgot to write it in when I did the 10K. So let's continue. Alright, it's 8 a.m. now, and I'm currently sitting at 2,397 words. So I think that's a pretty good wrap up of this chapter. I was thinking of adding more to the chapter, but that is really just to kind of wrap it up. Whereas I feel like the point I'm at now is a good ending for the chapter. What I tend to do with like my writing sometimes is I try and kind of see if I can wrap up the chapter in like, and then this and this and this happened before we went home kind of thing, where I'm like, I don't necessarily always need to do that, but that's kind of how my brain works, of like, okay, and then they did this and this and this. Whereas I feel like I don't always need to include that, so I can just leave it off on like a line instead of adding more to it. So I kind of now have them ending this chapter on just like a conversation, kind of like it doesn't change anything kind of thing. And in my head, I'm like, I could add kind of lines as like, we sat there for, you know, the remainder of the evening until the sunset before he drove me back home or something like that. But I'm like, I don't really need to do that. I could just leave it off here and then just jump to the next kind of chapter and scene. So that's why I'm like, I don't always need to explain everything, but in my head sometimes I do feel like I need to, but I need to tell myself that it's not necessary. I think that's where I'm gonna leave it off for now with this chapter and my word count for now. I do think I might continue writing at some point today. I don't know if it will actually happen, but at least with the 2,300 words I feel a little bit better about where I'm at with like my nano goal. I still have plenty more words to do for nano, and I know that I tracked this in a weird way, but the way that I wanted to track it this year is to kind of track how many days I've actually worked on stuff. I'm currently at 7 days with like everything. I'm probably just gonna keep that as like how many words I did every single day instead of doing the actual date I did it on, because I did start this officially in October. So my first days in October are actually November 1st and 2nd. I only had days where I didn't work on it, which shows in the November 7th versus November 10th, which it actually is today. But yeah, I kind of wanted to see, okay, if I have this many days, I can actually still do 50K, so that I can actually kind of be more confident in my own writing skills, I guess. And like, if I just sit down and do it, I can write this many words in this many days. That's kind of where I was going with that kind of experiment in a way of like how I want to approach Nano this year. So yeah, that's it. I will be taking the weekend off of getting up this early. I think next week I'll continue doing the early up kind of thing. Definitely Monday morning, we're back on track. We're back to doing this. So hopefully that's gonna actually help me. As for Nano as a whole, I'm currently just over 6,000 words in the full-on goal of 50,000. So we're slowly making our way towards the goal again, which is good because it was kind of nowhere near where we needed to be before. We're still not anywhere close. According to the website, we're supposed to be at like 11,667 words today, which, you know, I'm nowhere near. I'm about like halfway there, but I'm confident that I can still make it. I do intend to do like a 10K day at some point, not this weekend, but maybe next weekend. You know, I'm gonna catch up. I know that I will. I just need a little bit more time to actually get there. As for this weekend, I feel like I might write a little bit tomorrow, although I can't promise that because I also need to do some videos. So I think I might just take the full weekend off of writing. If I do decide to make like a kind of this is what I need to reach every single day kind of tracker goal thing, I will show you and let you know. But as for now, I think I'm okay. I think I can do this. I've kind of now shown myself that if I get up early and actually sit down and do this for about like what, 2 hours before I start work, I can actually get like 2,000 words in every single day. At least the 2 days I've done it now in a row, but I think I could potentially keep that going. I probably will make some plan on this. Yeah, okay. Alright, good morning. Just made myself a coffee. It is currently like 3 minutes before 6. So we're getting back to writing at 6 a.m. in the morning. I do gotta say, because it's Monday morning, it's a little bit tougher for me to actually do this, but we're gonna sit down and start on my laptop and actually just get to it. I do have a little blanket, so I'm gonna put that over me. But yeah, it's Monday morning, so it's a little bit hard after the weekend of sleeping in. But I did make a spreadsheet type thing, which I can show you guys on my laptop once I have that. Alright, my laptop's in front of me, which just gives me this really weird light, but we're just gonna go with it. So basically this is what I did. I created a spreadsheet, as I love to do, and wrote down some options on what I think I could do every day, and then what I can do on a couple of days where I have a little bit more time to do writing and YouTube stuff. So upcoming weekend I'll have one day where I can do writing and YouTube stuff, and then I think next weekend I also have a day where I can do that. So I calculate that in as maybe do more on those days. So I have kind of figured out that maybe I can do a 5K day on those days, maybe one 10K day, to kind of see if I can then lessen the load on the normal days. So I figured out that my good goal needs to be 2,300 words. My better goal is 2,600 words, and then my good goal is 3,000 words. So that's kind of what we're working with. So if I get anywhere kind of between 2,300 and 3,000, that should be good. And then I get more on those weekend days where I can do a little bit more. But if I could do 3,000 every day, then I only need 3,000 on the weekend as well. That would be like ideal scenario, but last time I got around 2,300 words, I think, so that isn't too bad for me, but I need to kind of see if I can keep that up. So I wrote down good, better, best goal for me to still kind of hit Nano, calculating in that I might have to do more on those weekends, but I think it's doable. I mean, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if I can actually make it. At the moment I only have 6,000 words written in total, so it's currently sitting at 6,148 for Nano, which again isn't that much. I still have a lot to write and I have 15 days to do it. So I wrote down 15 days because I know that there's gonna be a couple days where I can't be doing any Nano, so only 15 days where I can actually work on this. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Alright, it's currently 8 a.m. This one says 8:02, but anyway, it's been 8 o'clock, and that means it's been about 2 hours since I started writing, so feeling pretty good about what I got down on the page. I'm currently at 3,117 words for today, which is exactly perfect, because that is past my good goal, which I'm happy about. I really kind of want to strive for the 3,000 every day. We'll kind of see how that goes, because I did feel myself kind of trying to figure out what I was going to write in certain parts. I have one little part here that I still have just add, because I don't know how I want to kind of bridge those two parts together, because I feel like the first part is kind of conversation and then we jump into a next conversation, but I don't necessarily know how to kind of bridge those two at the moment yet. So I feel like there needs to be something. I haven't figured out what. So we're gonna leave that blank for now, but feeling pretty good. Alright, keep writing. It's 2 minutes before 6, so I'm a little bit late on the getting up. I have to say that I think yesterday I just went to bed too late, probably like 11:30 by the time I actually got to bed, which I know is way too late. I want to get up at 5:30, but it happened. I can't really change anything about that anymore. I also don't have as much time this morning because I am going to the office today. This is so low. This angle is not cute, but whatever. So I'm actually going to the office today, and that means I need to leave a little early today and stop writing early. So that doesn't really sit well with me, that I also got up a little bit later. So I won't be able to get the 3,000 words in, I don't think. But I'm gonna try and do my best. That's all I can do, really. And just see how many words I can get in. Also thinking of maybe writing as I'm in the train, which to be honest is not gonna be long. I probably am in the train for like, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes max, if even 10. And the same thing with the bus after that. But I'm thinking of maybe utilizing that time to get a little bit more words in. Like, I know it's not gonna, you know, make the difference of like 1K or anything, but it is gonna probably give me a good, you know, maybe a few hundred words if I'm lucky. So that can hopefully set me over the edge a little bit in like word count. So I'm gonna have to see how everything goes. Alright, it's been like an hour and I've only really written like 1,000 words and I'm not happy about that. I really wish I would have been able to do more, but I feel like I'm at a part in the story where a lot of it needs to be a little bit fleshed out. I do have parts of it already written, which makes it a little bit hard to kind of just flesh it out without having to reread the whole thing. And I'm gonna put in my context as we talk. And I've been trying not to like kind of just sit and reread, which makes it hard to implement any changes and extra words and like actually flesh it out where I feel like it needs fleshing out. But I don't want to sit here and kind of waste my time this morning with just rereading it. Now I don't really know what to do and how to continue getting the words in. So I feel like it's a lot of me not really getting the words in. There are also some other parts where I feel like I just need to do a little bit of research on the places I'm describing. That's also something that I did want to do because I know that that is going to take some time. And like I said, I just want to utilize today to just get the words in, and it's not happening. I think, you know, it's fine. I'm not too worried about not getting the words in this morning. It's not the best feeling, so just gonna have to see. I'm thinking maybe I will be able to get some words in later today, and with that I mean more so the evening, so I might be able to get some words in after work. We'll see. I might be able to do like some proper research on some of these things. I'm gonna see what I decide to do. Break writing update before my battery cuts me off. But basically, as I was traveling today, it was kind of busy in the train, so I didn't really get to sit down and actually write anything as I was traveling. So I ended up sitting down now in the evening. It's currently almost 8, and I wrote another 1,000 words. So now we're at 2,000. Alright, that was a cute attempt, but that didn't really work. So I now have 2,222 words for today. I kind of wanted to see if I could keep going, but I kind of liked that I ended on that word count at the end of a sentence, and I was like, I'm just gonna stop here and chill for the rest of the evening because I also been wanting to just relax. I've been feeling very tired today ever since like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I've been kind of crashing, so I figured I wouldn't do too much. I am happy that I did a little bit of writing and I got at least, you know, a little bit closer to what I wanted to go for. Combined with kind of the word count from yesterday, I guess that leaves me, you know, in between the good and best goals, so that's good. So yeah, I feel kind of okay. I think when I put it into my spreadsheet, it said that I need like 2,962 words every single day for the days that I'm actually writing, so 13 more days to go in the writing section of this whole nano. But I think that's doable because I've done the 3K in like, you know, a day, like yesterday. But I think because I had to go to the office today, it was a little bit harder for me to hit those word counts. Alright, good morning. Coffee. It's very much needed today. Okay, so I'm up. I can't say much more than that. I can say I'm very excited about it today. Yeah, as I was saying, I'm not super excited about it today. I think, again, I really went to bed too late yesterday. I think I ended up going to bed around 11. It's really too late to be doing this so early the next day. I'm really someone who likes sleeping, so getting up early already is a struggle. If I then also don't go to bed on time, then this is not gonna look well for me. So I really need to push myself a little bit to get to bed early. Also the getting up part, because I do struggle with that, but at least I'm here. It's more so the getting to bed early part that I'm struggling with at the moment. So yeah, let's get to writing. I kind of wanted to show how my writing process works. So you can see that I've been writing this scene, and then there's just a blank space. I have this little part, and then I have blank space, and I continue here. That's basically my brain. So whenever I'm like writing, I tend to go for something here, and then I'm like, oh, I want to include this, but I don't have a good way to transition this yet. And then below here, I'm literally writing here, but then I'm like, I feel like I should expand this more, but I don't know. And then here I even had a comment to myself that said, then get back to the bridge where they met it, and then that's the proposal part. So I start writing that of like, okay, how do I even kind of go into that? So I think maybe here after like who says it's over, I might do like a few lines to transition into this, but right now I don't have that transition, so it's just a couple lines in between, so I kind of know that I want to bridge that together. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to show you guys. Also, I've really not been writing that much today, only almost 300 words so far. We're about half hour in, so it's 6:30. I've just been doing like some research on the Palace of Versailles. That's kind of what I'm doing instead of actually writing, because I wanted to kind of include that into the story, that they're visiting that and stuff like that. So I just want to make sure that I write that kind of correctly. So that's more or less what I've been doing, and not really the actual writing part. And I do kind of want to get some more words in, so I might leave this chapter for what it is at the moment, because I can feel myself really not getting there with this. So I'm just probably just gonna pass on this and then just continue. I do this with like a label system in my binder of Scrivener, where I kind of mark off the chapters I feel kind of good about, in a way if I don't think anything needs adding necessarily. Like obviously it needs editing at some point, but I don't think it needs more words or more scenes. So that is kind of the green labels, and the red labels I know I definitely need to do, which was, you know, I skipped a couple of things and then I came back and I was like, actually this definitely needs work. And then the orange ones are like, there's parts that could, you know, use some work. Like there's gonna be some transition things that I haven't figured out yet, so those are just kind of like the things that I still need to look into on this part. And then I have other chapters that I'm just kind of still having to really get into in this process. So I haven't done all the chapters. Yes, I've read through it, but I've not done a kind of like, okay, I'm starting to write this again during November. So I feel like there's a lot that I still need to do with this book, and that's good. But at the same time, like it's probably going to be a lot of filling in the gaps, which is not always easy. But yeah, I'm trying to kind of make it through. I do realize that like me being so tired is not beneficial to my writing, because I'm really not doing that much work. I'm not trying to say that less work is bad, but I'm here to get the words in the morning, not to sit around and just not work on the story. So it's a little bit of a struggle for me at the moment. I'm gonna grab my notebook, see what's in there, see if I can figure out what still needs adding in certain parts, and then just kind of see what I'm up to with this. Right, so technically today is day 6 of this more or less experiment, if you want to call it that, to kind of see if this is something that I could do in the future. With life not always kind of working out and life getting busy, I don't always get to writing, and I've really missed that. And I've talked about that many times on this channel, but I miss writing. I've noticed that I'm not really writing in the evenings either, so I thought this was the best way to kind of still get everything that I want in a day. The writing, the relaxing in the evenings, my day job, even though that might not be something that I want to do, I kind of have to do it, and kind of see if I can just combine it all and have a better balance. And although I do think that getting up in the morning and doing all the work is actually helping with the balance of things, I'm actually doing the things I want to do and love, which is the writing, and then also the relaxing in the evening and playing video games, which is something that I really enjoy doing, while also working a day job, and I'm getting it all done. I will say it's not easy. I definitely have to, if I continue this, get to bed a little bit earlier, a little bit more on time, so I can get up early in the morning. But I do like the idea of it. Has it been as beneficial to me for NaNoWriMo? in this period so far. Not that much, although I will say I think I would have gotten way less words than if I didn't get up early. But I do think that my brain in the morning doesn't work as well as it does in like the evenings. I used to be someone that kind of just stayed up writing all the time, so I stayed up and I would write until I was too tired to continue, and then I'd just go to bed, and then I'd wake up the next morning, feel tired by the time I got up. What comes with that though is that sometimes work is so busy during the day, or work drains my energy so much that in the evenings I don't want to do anything. So then I won't be doing any of the writing either that I would usually do in the evenings if I'm too tired to do it. Turning that over to the morning side of things, I think might actually be good in the sense that I actually will get the writing in before I let any of the other things in the day ruin the day or ruin my energy, ruin my mood. You know, none of that can affect me if I do it first thing in the morning. I will get my writing done before anything else happens. That aspect I do like, and that idea I love. And I think I will be continuing this for the rest of November, even though my body doesn't love me for that. I am extremely tired, and I usually get a kind of dip of energy around 3 for sure. I feel like I'm just gonna fall asleep. So any meetings that are around that time are not good. But I try. I think it's also probably getting some used to this new routine I'm trying to set for myself, and I know this routine is gonna be messed up once I take my trip to Australia and come back, but I do think this might be something that I continue into next year. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I think I might like I might do this. I don't know. Do I think it's extremely early? Yeah. Do I think I really enjoy getting up early? No, I don't enjoy getting up early, but I do enjoy getting the things done that I want to get done. It's kind of almost putting myself first every morning and doing the thing that I want to do before I do anything else for any other person. Because I do my job, sure, for me to make money, but at the same time I do it for the company that I work for. It's not like I'm working towards something that's mine and that's my own and that I really enjoy doing. This in a sense puts what I want to do before anything else that I do. I kind of enjoy that kind of aspect of things, and I think I might just have to try and see if I can continue this throughout November. I might continue vlogging that experience, so you will be probably seeing another one, and hopefully I'll actually meet the nano goal or meet the first draft done of the story, which was more or less my goal anyway. I'm definitely not as far in with nano as I hoped I'd be. As for the successfulness of this experience and this experiment, I think, yeah, sure, it's been beneficial, and it's, you know, success in the sense that I think this is a good way of pursuing the things that I want to do with everything that's been happening, and it also means that I have a good balance of doing the writing but then also doing the relaxing and the fun things that I also want to do in the evening. That helps for sure. As for the initial hope of what this experiment was gonna bring, and actually the words and like the progress of things, that has not happened. I think what my hope was that I was gonna get anywhere between 2,300 and 3,000 words every single morning, and that definitely didn't work out. My thought process was basically, I can do on like a good day, I can do 1,000 words in 30 minutes or 25 minutes sometimes if that is a sprinting time, but that definitely hasn't worked out in the mornings. I had it once where I reached 3K and that's it. The other days I didn't do as much. My battery's flashing, give me a second. All right, we're back. And I grabbed my notebook so I can actually give you guys the actual number of things. So the first day I did this, I actually got almost 2,000 words in, which I think was really good for the first time I was getting up that early. The second time I got 2,300 words, almost 2,400 words in, and that was really good. I was like, oh, I'm so happy. I feel so good about like my experience and like doing the things that I want to do before work. And I got to the 2,300 mark that I at least had to get for the good goal, and for me to still be able to make it to the 50K at some point this month. When I hit the 3K the next day, I was like, oh, this feels great. And then the weekend came, and I didn't write on the weekend. I had a weekend that was just filled with other things, and I knew that going into the weekend, and I was fine with that. I even made a whole plan of the words that I needed every day on the days that I knew I was going to be able to write and the days I knew I wasn't going to be able to write. And I calculated it all, and I was good. I was all good. I felt great that weekend. Come Monday, it was so hard getting up Monday morning. I'm not gonna lie, it was really hard getting up on Monday morning to try and sit down and write. I think I said Monday was really tough to get up, but it was actually Tuesday that was really tough to get up. And I think I only got about 1,000 words in that morning. I didn't do the full 2,300 words I had to at least get in my goal setting, and that made me a little bit wary. I was like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's just me being tired. I don't know if it's a story. So I ended up writing a little bit more that evening because I'm really not happy of where I set with the words. So I ended up getting 2,222 words in on that day. Then the next day comes around, which at this point was Wednesday. I was so tired on Wednesday. And I think part of that is that I went to bed kind of late on the Tuesday evening, and the same thing kind of happened on Monday evening. So that's why I think I struggled a little bit with the Tuesday, where I did a bit in the morning and then did a bit in the evening. And that really affected kind of my awakeness, I guess, in the morning. I felt so tired that I didn't know what words were. I couldn't get anything onto the page. I was really struggling, and that is not a good feeling, I can tell you, because I, again, only got like 1,000 words in, not even. Like, I got 881 words in, which really isn't that great. Of course, it's still progress and it's still awesome if you haven't written in a really long time, but for me, wanting to get to a certain goal, this wasn't helping. Yesterday was basically a day where I knew I wasn't gonna be able to do the morning writing. And I kind of thought, okay, I'm not gonna count that day as a day that I'm gonna do writing because I won't be able to do writing. So I ended up not doing any writing in my plan. But then yesterday evening, I was like, I need to get more words in. I'm not gonna make it if I don't get some words in tonight. So I ended up sitting down for a good like hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and actually sat down and wrote more words. I got about 2,000 words in that day, and that felt really good. I feel like that helped a lot with feeling, okay, I can still probably do this if I can just get to 3K every day. Now, the 3K might be a stretch to do in 2 hours, especially because it's early morning. I'm still trying to, wake up. And as it turns out, I think this story is just a lot harder for me to actually write. I thought, oh, this is gonna be fun, I'm gonna have a good time. And I kind of already raised that question of like, how much am I actually gonna be able to do with this story when I am working on this? Because with the 10K I did earlier this year, I realized that I actually did like maybe 2/3 of the story in that 10K. And sure, it was, just jotted down words. It wasn't full scenes all the time. There was definitely parts that still needed adding to. And I definitely am someone that doesn't really do world building, so that definitely, was gonna be needing more work. But I am coming to, I feel like, at least midway into the story at the moment, if not further in already. And I am sitting at like 25K overall written words. Not written words in the November month, but actual written words in the story, which I figured, if I wanted to do 50K, I need my story to end up around 60K for me to kind of accommodate for that. So word count wise, it's not looking good. But I think what I've started realizing is that when I wrote down the words of yesterday in my journal, that I had written down specifically that it wasn't about the word count. It was gonna be, I'm gonna try and hit 50K or finish the first draft of my novel, whichever comes first. So if I needed more words than 50K, then that would be fine. I wouldn't have finished the first draft, but I've hit the 50K. If I need less words than 50K, but I still hit the first draft, I was gonna be happy with that. I think the problem with that goal for me is that I don't see a clear, I am this much of the way there. There was not much of a measuring system in, I'm gonna try and finish the first draft. I don't know how many chapters this book is gonna be. I don't know where I'm at in the story percentage wise. So I don't know how far I am with reaching that goal. And that, I think, makes it less tangible for me in a sense that I am like okay with where I'm at or not okay with where I'm at, if I'm supposed to be like stressing about that or not, even though I know I shouldn't be stressing about this. But it's kind of like I don't know how to value the progress I've made, or kind of put that into perspective of like, okay, I only need this much more. Like, I don't know how much more I'm gonna need. So it's a little bit hard. And I think what I need to kind of just tell myself again is that this helped me get back into writing. And even if I don't get the 50K, I'm happy that I'm trying to do some words this month again, because I've not written in so long, and it might not be the 50K at the end of this month, but we're gonna see. I'm still gonna try and just finish this draft and sit down and actually do the work every day. Do I think I could probably still hit 50K if I really put my mind to it? Sure, but I also don't want to just add fluff to the story that it doesn't need. Like, I know that there's gonna be parts in the story already where my brain dump draft stuff is gonna have to change, because this is very much a rough first draft. It's not the prettiest draft I've ever written, but I do enjoy kind of what I've written a little bit. There's definitely parts where I feel, okay, this definitely needs an edit once I get there. But I'm trying to not go back and edit those parts as I'm writing it right now, because that's just gonna slow me down even more. Can you tell I'm struggling? Yeah? No? Yeah. Let me actually add up how many words that is for the full experiment to kind of see how much I got done in the time span that I actually wrote. If we think about like the week and the word counts, so if I do Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so if I just look at those 5 days, I got a total of 10,590 words. If I then count the day that I actually wasn't supposed to be writing, which was yesterday, and I add that, then I come to a 12,621 words. So for a week's worth of writing, which spans over, 6 days in this case, I still think that's like good progress. That means I get 2,000 words in every single day. And if I look at a normal nano, that would be awesome. Like, that would be above the word count of every single day that I need to hit. With me not working on the weekends on my book, I don't know how that would translate into how many words I need to do fully if this was a normal nano and I didn't actually flake on days before. So I have about 2 more weeks, I guess, left of nano. I think 1 full week of writing and then a couple days. I hope that I can still get some work done. I think I have 11 more days that I'm gonna plan on doing writing. So hopefully that helps, and hopefully I can get some words in. I think in total on the website, yeah, I'm at like 14,000 words. That's not enough. I'm recording this on the 17th, so it's definitely not boding well for me for nano. I did write like 1,500 words today, so that, brings me up to almost 16,000. Definitely not anywhere close to where I need to be, but yeah, I still have like 35,000 words to write, 34,000 words maybe. Yeah, that definitely means I need to get higher up in my goals for every day. I do have a Saturday tomorrow where I can do some more writing, so I'm hopeful that I can hit like maybe a 5K tomorrow. We'll see if I can actually do this and actually make nano. But yeah. Overall, I think I just need to continue the story, see where it takes me, and if I finish the first draft, awesome. If I get to the 50K, awesome. And if I don't, then still awesome. I definitely wrote a lot more than I did this last year in the last couple of weeks, and that I think is already progress that should be celebrated. So this is your reminder, if you're not getting to the word count goal of nano and if you're struggling to get there, don't focus too much on that, I guess, even though I tend to fall for that as well. Try and focus on the progress that you're actually making. Even if that is, 50 words here and there, it's still progress. You're still putting some work into your book and you're still making that progress there. It might not be as fast as you want it to be. It might not be, a gradual linear incline of the word count, but at the same time you are working on the story. You had more words today than you did yesterday, so that's something. I know that not reaching a goal can be tough, but at the same time, we need to remind ourselves that sometimes it just doesn't always work out, and that's okay. As long as progress is being made and you kind of do what you can, then that's good. That's that. And I definitely feel like I'm doing what I can. I'm getting up early to try and do this with everything else going on. So I'm trying, and if that doesn't get me to where I want to be, then that's okay. I'm trying to do the best I can, and I'm making progress. And I think the making progress part is definitely nice. I'm really enjoying making progress on some type of story again, and hopefully that can kind of stay in the future. With Australia just creeping around the corner, I know that that's definitely going to be messed up. But once I return, I hope that I can kind of maybe take a month of just readjusting to being back home, trying to do all the things and ease into doing all the things again. I hope that with everything that's happening and everything that I have planned for next year, I can actually build that routine of getting up early every morning and do writing in the mornings. That's kind of what my hope is. We'll see if that actually turns out okay, but maybe we'll do that. Those are my thoughts and reflections on this past week of getting up early and doing the writing. It's definitely helped. I think it was a good challenge for me, and it makes me feel kind of good about myself if I've done some work before work, if that makes sense. Some of my personal work and some of my writing before I start the day job, it makes me feel good, and it makes me feel like I've done something already today. Maybe this video was insightful to you, and maybe you want to try this yourself. I opted for a 6 a.m. writing time instead of the, general 5 a.m. writers club that I've seen around. That was my original plan, but I thought, nope, that is way too early. I'll stick with like an hour later and do that. And that has kind of more or less worked out. If you enjoyed this video, then please consider leaving a like down below. And if you're not subscribed already, then I would ask kindly if you might subscribe to my channel. I post videos every Tuesday and Friday on my channel at the moment. Might change in the future, but for now you get 2 videos a week of me rambling about writing and life. So if you enjoy that kind of content, then I hope you stick around, and hopefully I'll see you in the next videos. Because according to